Lemon Amiga presents a Playguide video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi there, once again, welcome to another Lemon Amiga Playguide video. This time we're checking out Minskies Furballs, AGA, otherwise known as Minskies the Abduction, and this was developed by Binary Emotions and published by Guildhall Leisure Entertainment in 1996 in both ECS and AGA. Let's check out the story and the easy mode for this, and let's check out our first opponent, Boo Cake. Minskies Furballs is a Dr. Mario type game, and dare I say a Dr. Mario clone. You can see when we move these critters, which look a bit like cats to me, if you move them together, they will join together, and just like Tetris, once you get a few in a row, they will then disappear. But like Tetris, you can join those up in any order as long as you get 4 of them, and then they will disappear and give us some score. And sometimes if we can get chain reactions going on, then that will also harm our opponent. Because there are 11 opponents in this game, this one is the easiest and it's also the slowest.
Swing! I'm too good.
See, the opponent has just used a power-up to get rid of some of those pesky things piling up on the screen, but still we have not managed to beat the opponent. We died, and so we get to use up one of our continues, of which we have 5 in this game. As we play through the game, the characters will scream abuse at us, and in this case, this guy says, "Eat your turkey." No idea why, but maybe he says something else. You can see we are now piling up those things, and on his side, he really is running into trouble. That's the easiest opponent beaten on the easiest mode, and that means that we get some score for that, and we also get to move on to the second opponent. Well done, 1 furball has been rescued, 10 more to go. These characters are based mostly on animals, and so Hawkins is the second character based on a bird, and the hawk in this case is a little bit faster than our previous opponent, which looked like a clown munching cakes. This one is definitely more sly than that, and so it helps to take your time and to pile up those things in a less than random order. complete at random. If we collect a few score, then sometimes that will drop a block onto the opponent, or you can see a fish, and those blocks and fish cannot be removed unless you get a chain reaction, and then any adjacent to the chain reaction will then disappear.
I'm too good. I'm too good. Mom. I'm too good. I'm too good.
Speeding up this footage, you can see that most rounds end exactly the same way, with the opponent matching the very top of that screen, and when there is no more room to maneuver, that means it's game over for the opponent and game won for us.
Swing. Here it comes.
We are given coins at the end of every level based on our abilities and our collectibles that we've managed to destroy. Maybe that's dependent on the blocks that we've managed to destroy. And in here we can go to a sub game, which reminds me of course of Super Frog, where we get to press a number of buttons and hopefully get 3 in a row to give us some prizes. It's very difficult, and for every 10 coins we only get 1 go at this no-arm bandit, and so it looks like we are already down to 22, and those 2 spurs should hopefully be carried over onto that next level. You can see Barnaby is an incredibly fast computer opponent, and so you'll have to try hard to keep up, and they will get faster as the game goes on. You may notice also the music has changed, and also the speech sound effects go with each character.
I'm too good. I'm too good.
Sometimes the music is terrific in this game, and it really gets a march on towards the end of that level. That's 10 more coins collected, and so let's take a very quick trip along the opportunities, and unfortunately not. You can definitely gain continues and extra lives with that slot machine, but you have to be very quick and very nimble with that, and mostly it's at random. So let's move on to our next guy. This is Job, who looks like he's 100 years old, and it's surprising you can see his hole under those eyebrows. Speeding up the footage, I'd just like to say this review was inspired by a Miss Mad Lemon video who played this a while ago, and it's been on my list to recover this game for quite some time, but I chose that inspiration to actually cover the game, and so this episode is dedicated to Miss Mad Lemon. If you check out the Miss Mad Lemon YouTube channel, you'll find lots of gameplays, lots of fun times, lots of laughter, lots of mayhem as well. So this review is dedicated to that channel. Go and check it out, go and subscribe and register for more. See with that speeded up footage that the computer really likes to fill that screen, and sometimes it's helpful if you can get lots of colours, but you can see lots of goldfish and blocks on my side, which makes things a little bit difficult. But just by using those tokens just at the right time, we managed to get on to the next level, and this is the easy mode, don't forget. There is the medium and the hard mode, which are very much more difficult, and I've never really got anywhere with the game in those modes. But in this mode, it is easier, and it's not really a kid mode. It will still tax the player. Moving on to Grebor, who is absolutely no relation to Greedo, the green alien in Star Wars. This one looks more like it may be a llama, and maybe Jeff Minter's been involved with this game. But I don't think he was, because the main coder and the designer was Clive Minican, and he was involved with coding the Sparris Legacy, which was a Zelda game, of course, for Team 17 in 1996. So he does have two great games on the Amiga, this being one of them, and I never really got into Sparris Legacy. But you can see this opponent is very much slower and takes his time. But what you might not notice is exactly the same blocks fall on our side as his, i.e. the cats. And so if you can copy the computer control player, you should be able to align the same cats up in the right colours and get exactly the same matches. But unfortunately, the computer is a bit of an idiot still at this stage. So you don't really want to be following the computer too much. You want to be looking ahead. You can see the 1p and the 2p in the very centre of the screen gives away the cats which are about to appear. So all you have to do is to get those colours right and look ahead for the next one.
Swing, swing. I'm too good.
Speed up this footage again, and you can see my score is really rapidly climbing as the time deteriorates, and we only have maybe 5 minutes to complete each level, but we can gain extra time, score checkpoints, and I think special bonuses that we can collect, and maybe things like that. See, the time counts up in the level, and maybe we only have a certain time limit to complete these levels. I'm not quite sure. You can see the action gets packed and it gets mayhem later on, and if you're playing this 2 players, then you can play against hopefully a human opponent. I've never actually tried that. I don't even know if it's possible, because there is only practice and story modes available on the title screen. Well, hopefully you can play this in 2-player mode. If not, it was a wasted opportunity. In this case, we failed, and so let's use up another continue. right at the bottom of the screen on my side above the score, it gives us the item that we're supposed to be playing for. And in this case it's a laser, and I think the computer opponent uses that laser to destroy items. Not quite sure, but I didn't get the laser in that case. I simply wait for the computer player to fall over its own feet and fall into its own trap. That's the easiest way to beat a level by attrition. Just play the long game, and hopefully the computer player will fall into that disaster. Let's check out our next opponent. This is Rupert, who also reminds me of, well, Eddie in the Addams Family and Dave Haney. And this guy isn't the first or the last guy on the Amiga who reminds me of Dave Haney, because the guy in Dark Seed reminds me of Dave Haney as well. This game can be mega fun when you get out of trouble in the nick of time, and in some levels, if the enemy is good, then they will pile lots of unbreakable bricks on top, or in this case fish, and that just makes the job a little bit trickier. So what you can do, well, you can see the bonus item is now a shield. I'm not quite sure what any of these bonus items do, but you can collect them in the game. Skipping through, we get to our next opponent, and we're getting through to the end now because we only have a few to go. And Elrica, I think I saw that name, she's I think a ballet dancer, and we get a change of scenery and maybe some change of music as well. Elrica has a crazy habit of completely blocking up most of her screen straight from the start, so it shouldn't be too hard to beat her. But again, these are just different tactics that you can employ in the game.
Swing! Here it comes!
This is my kind of game. It's the adidocious. This is my kind of game.
I'm too good!
Maybe Elrica is maybe Ulrika from, well, Ulrika Johnson from the Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer shows.
Swing!
It's the adidocious.
Here it comes!
But anybody who remembers Shooting Stars from the 90s might remember Ulrika Johnson.
This is my kind of game.
I'm too good!
It's the adidocious. Beating now.
Bounce!
Can have a huge battle on this game, and sometimes it can be nip and tuck as to who is going to win. In this case, I'm not going to win, and that means that we have to use up another continue and try this again. And sometimes it can be difficult in this game when you have lots of things on the screen, but that's just like most Dr. Mario games, who borrowed heavily from Tetris. And you can see the playability in this game is very easy to get into. For anybody who knows anything about Tetris games, you can simply link those guys up and start to have some fun. The controls is reasonable, the controls are on the joystick, and maybe you can use a mouse as well. And the graphics, they are very colourful as you would expect. This is the AGA version, but there is also an identical ECS version, which was absolutely identical except for the colours. And yet, those characters really do flash on and off the screen pretty rapidly, and that's pretty distracting when you're trying to concentrate on linking cats together. But in this game, that's what you have to deal with, and so the playtest on offer is more or less very good, and you'll have lots of fun with it.
Swing, I'm too good. Swing. Swing.
I think the music on offer is terrific, and it does change periodically, and also the voice speech sound effects as well, with I'm too good and all the rest of it. It really does add lots of atmosphere to this game, and all the characters say something different.
Swing.
Graphics in this game are very well drawn, and I really do like the presentation. Unfortunately, it came a little bit too late in the Amiga's life cycle, being 1996. It means it was a very good game and very polished, but hardly anybody bought it, because by 1996 many people had moved on to the PC. And not me, I kept my Amiga until maybe 2004, when I had to finally upgrade it, but upgrade it I did finally to a PC. Penultimate boss is Gardic, and at least the penultimate enemy that we face in this game. And Gardic may remind some people of a vampire, maybe, but in this case he's not so hard, but he's smart, and so you'll have to be quick about it and link those guys together pretty smartly, and maybe even hold some back as well, so that you can retaliate against his attacks. And there's only one more guy after this, that's the end of game character, and so let's move on to those scores. And the lowest score actually came from Amiga format. Don't forget, in 1996 there weren't too many Amiga magazines around, but Amiga format gave this 80%. They said that there wasn't enough substance here to make this a massive commercial smash, but what there was fun and very playable and quite addictive. Lemon Amiga score is 82%, and most people on the Amiga praise this, and I think it's even HD installable, or if it isn't, it's only on 4 discs, and of course the WHD load version is available. Amiga Computing gave this 85%, and CEO Amiga gave this 88%. They said it was very well done and very well polished, and that means that this game gets an average score of 8.5 out of 10. Speeding up this final boss, you can see he's already making a meal of it, and as long as we think about this game and don't rush ahead, then it's possible to get far. And so I have got lots of respect for this, and as a Dr. Mario game, it adds something to it, and weapons and bombs and lasers and things like that. So it really is great and reminds me of Virtual Ball Fighters, another great polished game in this kind of puzzle genre, which appears late in the Amiga's lifetime.
Marvelous. Good game.
I'm too good.
Marvelous.
So thank you once again for viewing another Lemon Amiga play guide, and I hope I've given away how to play this game. It's not very hard to describe, and we've seen enough of it to be able to see a review. So I hope to see you again in another play guide and review at some point sometime soon. Thank you.